Let me continue from there because there have been several interpretations concerning this case. The Rivers State government says the case the government withdrew was about the appeal court judgment that Fubara should represent the 2024 budget before the Martins Amaewhule-led assembly. And that's the case challenging the leadership of the assembly was still before the Supreme Court. And it does appear like the Amaewhule faction may be rejoicing too early. So what do you think? How do you react to that?
They're just deceiving themselves. Nigerians know the truth, lawyers know. Even them who are making the speech, they know the truth. Court of Appeal upheld the judgment of the lower court. Upholding the judgment of the lower court is upholding all the reliefs that was sought by Martins Amaewhule that was given by Justice Omotosho, and all those reliefs stood at the Court of Appeal. In fact, the Court of Appeal went further by saying that it was a joke taken too far for the governor of Rivers State to go and present a budget before 3 persons. That is an embarrassment to democracy, and advised him that he should go back and do the proper thing and obey all the reliefs as granted by the Court of First Instance. And if you go to those reliefs, relief 7 and 8 say clearly that Martins Amaewhule is the right speaker, and his assembly is the right assembly that the governor should deal with. That the governor should not deal with any other person or group of body in the name of the assembly, legislative arm of Rivers State, other than the one led by Martins Amaewhule. So coming to talk about the issue of budget, it's as if you're just, they know that they cannot deceive the lordship and they cannot deceive their colleague. What they wanted to do was to see how they can get a soft landing, knowing that they will lose that particular appeal. So they smartly came through and tried to see if the court can strike out the issue. But on our own side, on Martins Amaewhule's side, our senior advocates, by the grace of God, gave them the grace to say, no, this is the right step to take. This appeal, we have worked on it, you must administer costs and dismiss it because it will not stand. And that is what the Supreme Court did. So for Supreme Court dismissing it, it shows clearly that the judgment that is established today in Nigeria that can be noted or can be quoted is the judgment delivered by the Court of Appeal upholding the judgment of Omotosho. That's what the Supreme Court has done, and that is where we stand. That's why we are happy as Rivers people that Martins Amaewhule is the person that has the authority to manage the legislative arm. And also don't forget that by that ruling shows clearly that even the 2025 budget that the governor presented to the 3-man proprietors of assembly is still illegal. Because if you follow the indices of this case, I've been in this studio and we have told Nigerians the genesis of this matter. This matter started in 29th of October 2023 when the Hello Chamber of the Vice Assembly was born because of the crisis that some people perceived that would come up the next morning. But the assembly members went forth and sat in that Hello Chamber, and on the 30th of October, Edison Ehie and the 3 others who are parading themselves now as an alternative assembly were suspended indefinitely. Edison Ehie was impeached as the leader of the 10th Assembly. He has never contested that impeachment. He has not gone to any court of law to say rescind impeachment. Even these other 3 members who were suspended indefinitely have not gone to any panel to say we were suspended wrongly or any court that were suspended wrongly.
Dr. Nwanosike, I'm happy you said you're not a lawyer. I'm happy you said you're not a lawyer because some lawyers have said
yes, of course,
it looks like the Amaewhule faction have just been outsmarted. I mean, on one hand, we have Ikenga Ugochiyere, who now practically serves as the spokesperson of Governor Fubara, saying that the verdict was rather in favor of Governor Fubara as it was predicated on his withdrawal of the appeal through his lead counsel, and that's Yusuf Ali-Ese. And for him, Victor Kojombo is still the authentic speaker and nothing can change that. So for him, if a party withdraws a case, what is left is for the court to strike out the case, isn't it? Does the withdrawal mean dismissal in this instance? You can react to that. No.
First of all, Ugochiyere is an embarrassment unto himself. Nigerians have come to realize that, okay, imagine a young man, the court is on section sitting. He has organized press people to his office in National Assembly. He's not from Rivers State. Because why? He has considered the Rivers State government house as a place where he can go and line his pockets. we don't want to bother ourselves. I am here to discuss the nitty-gritty of what is at stake. Ugochiere is an embarrassment that democracy does not recognize. We don't, in fact, he has no role in our democracy growth today. It's just an embarrassment. So talking about Ugochiere is wasting the time of this program. Let's go over to what we are discussing. We are saying that ab initio, you cannot beat something on nothing and expect it to stand. Who made this in a here speaker? Who created this alternative assembly? They don't exist. Omotosho's judgment have said they don't exist. The Court of Appeal has agreed that they don't exist. So because they know that that appeal will fail at the Supreme Court and they are avoiding the embarrassment of that total failure, they decided to withdraw the appeal, thinking that it would have been easy for them to just ask the Supreme Court justices to strike it out. But they were caught on their web. It was a program they designed that failed. And because the program has failed, they are not licking their wounds. What do you expect them to say? The governor has said categorically clear that he's not going to obey
this is not really
order, any law from any court in
Dr.
Nigeria.
Nwanosike, this is not really about what Governor Fubara and his team are saying. I mean, I was talking about what lawyers, other legal practitioners have said. They said this looks like a smart move by the Governor Fubara faction. If that suit was not withdrawn, it could have given the Supreme Court the legality to rule on whether Martin Amaewhule and his people had defected. So, for instance, as a lawyer, if you're representing an applicant who just filed for a withdrawal of a case, it means the other party should rejoice because you had lost the case. That's what you're saying tonight. And I'm asking that question because what led to this appeal was the case of budget representation at the lower court. And according to Femi Falana, SAN, it was not a case of whether or not Martin Amaewhule was the substantive speaker and the 5-man panel did not touch on the issue of the 27 lawmakers, and that the dismissal was not anchored on the merits of the appeal. I mean, he also says the fine was to compensate the court for the works already done and that the efforts that had been put into filing the cases for the courts. Do you agree with him? Because, I mean, some lawyers have also actually said that was a disciplinary fine.
So hold on. First of all, how can I agree with a man who want to twist the truth because he wants to lie in his pocket? I can't agree with such a thing. You heard,
but you're also speaking from a point of bias.
Hold on.
Dr. Nwanosike, you're also speaking from a point of bias. So that might not really validate what Femi Falana has said.
Excuse. No, Femi Falana, first of all, has no right to say what he said because he's an interested party in the matter. He's a senior advocate that wanted to do the unthinkable. He wanted to do a magic. We wanted him to come before Supreme Court and see how he can overturn the decision of the Court of Appeal, upholding the judgment of Omotosho. That is what they could not do. They couldn't manufacture a magic to do that. So the point we are making is that they failed in their program. Omotosho's judgment is not only for 2024 budget presentation. No. In fact, the issue of the 2024 budget presentation was an advice by the Court of Appeal. The original issue is the 11 relief that was sought. Read the reliefs. You cannot present anything to anybody other than Martin Amaewhule-led assembly. You cannot screen commissioners other than Martin Amaewhule-led assembly. And after those judgments, the governor started obeying those reliefs. But later, he withdrew, and because he got an advice that he should become above the laws of Nigeria, he can decide to disobey all orders of court. He decided to go the rascally way, which is the way he's going now. Let me just let Nigerians know the truth. The fact that that appeal was dismissed when once a decision of court not appealed against is deemed accepted by the party against whom the decision was entered and is therefore binding. It is binding because they could not overturn the decision of the Court of Appeal. And so the Court of Appeal decision is the law of Nigeria as we speak today. So for us, they are the one that gave us the gift. They gave Rivers people the gift of agreeing that Martin Amaewhule is the Speaker of the Rivers House of Assembly.